Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am the Divine One and I'm bringing you yet another assortment. Hey y'all already know what time it is. Firstly, we hit 5,000 subscribers today and I just wanted to take this time to thank each and every one of you for not only subscribing but also for the comments, good or bad. I read them all, the views, the likes, and also the shares. Now back to normal programming. For the first timers, welcome, and to the day ones, welcome back. We don't pull punches over here, no regurgitation of talking points, and no regulation of thought. You are now officially a part of the realest commentary space on the internet, and trust me, today, the leopards have developed hypertension with all of the face eating at this point. It's been an all-you-can-eat buffet for the leopards. The leopards have feasted on federal workers who voted for Trump, the Hispanic, Latinos, and Latinas who voted for Trump. The leopards have feasted on the Arabs for Trump, or the uncommitted movement over there in Dearborn, Michigan. Num, 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 num. They've been feasting. And now the farmers who voted for Trump. I guess these are the leopards who didn't want any of those wide-framed, free-range faces in Oklahoma, but turns out it's a delicacy for them. Scrumdiddlyumptious. It's chaos in the Republican Party right now in MAGA land, but with real-world consequences. Of course, the legacy media refuses to decree Republicans in disarray every 4.5 working hours as they normally do with the Democrats, but that's neither here nor there. Elon Musk is out here thinking he's the emperor of the United States. Trump's own appointees are giving him a good Forrest Whitaker side eye. Steve Bannon is feuding with Musk like two Karens fighting over the last can of White Claw, and DeSantis is pushing his own wife to be the next governor of Florida in direct defiance of Donald Trump's favorite jigaboo tap dancing supreme, Congressman Byron Roomy Hips Donald. The GOP Civil War is here, folks, so grab your popcorn and your wine because we're about to dive into the battle of the bastards. But first, let's look at these clips. Let's go.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I'm done. Let him cook.
President Trump is doing a 180 and reversing cuts to a federal program that administers medical aid to 9/11 survivors. Late last week, the World Trade Center Health Program's 90-member staff was reduced by about 20%. The cuts were made as part of Elon Musk's efficiency drive, which is cutting spending and slashing jobs across a large part of the federal government. But Democratic lawmakers slammed the Trump administration for the cuts, and the president faced a rare rebuke from Republican lawmakers in New York City. As a result, Trump changed his tune, and the cuts were reversed.
Throughout the D.C. headquarters for the Department of Housing and Urban Development, there are internal TV monitors, the kind that might show you what's for lunch in the cafeteria or whatever. But instead, today, when employees showed up for work, the first day everybody was expected to be back in the office full time. Instead, on those monitors, they saw this. A fakety fake video of President Trump passionately kissing the feet of Elon Musk with the text, "Long live the real king," superimposed over it. What appeared on those internal TVs at HUD today needs to not exist in nature, and thank heavens it does not. From our own very helpful internal network guidance on this, quote, "Our editorial teams indicate this video appears to be AI generated and fake." Yes. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. The video does have telltale signs of being fake. If you look closely, which I don't recommend, you might notice, for example, that Elon Musk is depicted as having 2 left feet. We ourselves have not seen Mr. Musk's feet, but the ones on screen at HUD today do look like fictional feet. NBC News has reached out to the White House for comment. We will keep you posted.
The so-called MAGA civil war escalated this week when Steve Bannon called Elon Musk a parasitic illegal immigrant who's play-acting as God without any respect for the country's history, values, or traditions. Bannon's comments are the latest in a long series of attacks against Musk, who he's called a truly evil guy, an agent of Chinese influence, and an existential threat to the MAGA movement.
Elon Musk is a total and complete phony. He is owned lock, stock, and barrel by the Chinese Communist Party, and he acts like it.
But Bannon's criticisms of Musk in the tech right have mostly fallen on deaf ears. Their beef came to a head late last year when a feud over the H-1B visa program, which allows the hiring of highly skilled foreign workers, divided the MAGA movement. And while Bannon and other members of Trump's populist base likened the program to a form of indentured servitude that took away American jobs, Musk ardently defended H-1B, going as far as to say that he would go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. And despite previously criticizing and temporarily suspending the program, President Trump sided with Musk, describing himself as a believer in H-1B, suggesting that it's here to stay. To Bannon's chagrin, Musk has become a regular fixture in the Oval Office since the inauguration, and Trump has strongly supported his efforts to cut federal spending at DOGE. Bannon, for his part, says DOGE's actions are performative, and has highlighted the potential conflicts of interest posed by the fact that Tesla, Starlink, and SpaceX receive billions in federal contracts. The rift between Bannon and Musk is a clash of personalities, but it also exposes a fundamental conflict. And recent polls show that Americans might also be worried about Musk's power, with only 13% of Americans saying that they want him to have a lot of influence in Trump's administration. We'll be following how President Trump manages to balance the competing interests of his national populist base with those of his big tech inner circle.
I want to emphasize to people that this is a very important point. If we don't solve the deficit, there won't be money for medical care. There won't be money for Social Security. We either solve the deficit, or all we'll be doing is paying debt.
Nobody's
So
ever...
it's got to be solved, or there's no medical care, there's no Social Security, there's no nothing. It's got to be solved. It's not optional. America will go bankrupt if this is not done. That's why I'm here.
Elon Musk must be running Doge out of the goodness of his heart because he's already so rich, right? Wrong. Here's the actions he's already taken that specifically benefit him. Many of the people he's fired were investigating his companies. Several FDA workers fired because of Doge were investigating Musk's Neuralink, a company developing brain-computer interfaces for humans. Trump helped out to remove 17 inspectors general, including from the USDA, which was investigating Neuralink's animal testing after it found the company had killed 1,500 animals since 2018. Musk has also gutted the FAA, which is responsible for investigating the safety of SpaceX after explosions and other dangerous incidents. And he targeted the Consumer Protection Agency that had plans to regulate his X. And what about his $22 billion worth in government contracts that he now has the power to influence? He's also downsized the IRS, which collects 414 times more in taxes than the cost to run the department. For every $1 the IRS spends auditing the top 10%, it can collect $12. So why lay off 7,000 IRS employees if it's all about efficiency and reducing the deficit? That's because it's not about that. It's about making it even easier for rich people like him and the 12 other billionaires in Trump's cabinet to avoid paying taxes. Musk paid just a 3.27% effective tax rate from 2014 to 2018, and he'd like that number to be even smaller. Some say that because he's the world's richest man, he couldn't possibly want more, right? Well, Musk spent $277 million to help get Trump elected for a reason. Studies show that once people get wealthy, there's an obsession to stay wealthy. They're addicted to the high of accumulating more, feeling above others, and wielding their influence, especially someone as insecure as Musk. Studies also show that extremely wealthy people are more likely to have the dark triad of personality traits: Machiavellism, psychopathy, and narcissism. They're more willing to manipulate and exploit people for personal gain, less empathetic, and believe they're superior over others. That's not the kind of person we should want influencing our laws, politics, and public discourse.
A fan of Elon Musk's intelligence and IQ, but it turns out that some Republican lawmakers are starting to panic about Elon Musk's role in the Trump administration, and they're responding to their constituents who are writing in to share their concerns about Elon Musk and the seemingly unmitigated power it appears he has in the Trump administration. So let's get into the details. Reporters over at the Bulwark, and I should note, they do not like Trump over there, so I would typically take their reporting on Trump with a grain of salt, or I would look for something to kind of balance it out. But to be fair to them, they did obtain the actual letters that Republican members of Congress sent to their constituents who had written into them to share their concerns about Elon Musk. So, let's get to some of the Republicans and what they are saying in response to their constituents, starting with Representative Rob Whitman. He's a Republican from Virginia. He wrote back to his constituents, "I share your concerns regarding potential conflicts of interest and overreach. Protecting the personal information of Americans is a fundamental responsibility, and any breach of privacy is alarming." He continues, The prospect of private individuals or companies having unfettered access to sensitive data raises critical questions about accountability, oversight, and safeguarding of our citizens' rights. So clearly, a constituent wrote in to his office to complain or at least express concern over Elon Musk's access to our private information through the Treasury Department. And this is what Representative Whitman wrote back. So look, I just think it's interesting how privately or, quietly they try to calm or ease the nerves of their constituents, but they'll never say anything publicly about it. Like, I haven't heard anything from Congressman Whitman about how he's concerned about Elon Musk accessing our private personal data through the Treasury Department.
Yeah, so look, I'm going to tell you guys in a minute if and how Republican politicians would actually turn on Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And by the way, Elon Musk just gave a super weird rambling speech in the Oval Office with Donald Trump, trying to justify DOGE. And so if he's trying to justify DOGE, he might be a little worried about his own popularity with Republican politicians and voters. Mm-hmm. So those are all super interesting developments. But first, more.
So I should also note that Whitman's district is obviously in the state of Virginia, as I mentioned earlier, and Virginia is going to have a lot of federal workers. His district alone has around 20,000 federal employees. And so he might be feeling more pressure compared to other GOP lawmakers in regard to Elon Musk's role in the Trump administration. Now, unlike Whitman, Republican Senator Kevin Cramer, by the way, is actually willing to share his concerns about Elon Musk publicly to the press. I want to give you a little taste of that.
There have to be guardrails, obviously, on what information he accesses, but more importantly, what he does with it. As a major defense contractor, as a major government contractor, there have to be some guardrails.
So I just want to commend Senator Cramer for being willing to say that publicly, because he obviously drew attention to the very real conflicts of interest that Elon Musk does in fact have. I mean, look, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to audit government agencies. I would like it to be a little more methodical as opposed to just chop everything down without really thinking about it. Because I think that there are some skilled, important federal workers that we might end up getting rid of, and it's going to be hard to replace them.
And they don't know what they're doing.
That's right.
But they're appointees.
But Elon Musk.
I understand. But they are appointees of the duly elected president. So your view, you're here as our legal expert, but your view is because you don't personally believe they know enough that the duly elected president, who appointed a Treasury Secretary and who appoints special appointees like Elon Musk, shouldn't be able to act as the president because you don't personally believe they know enough?
Well, they
Is that how it works?
No.
Or do elections mean anything to you?
Well, it's got nothing to do with elections.
Of course,
the fact of the matter is, there is a law.
Guys, hold on one second. I really want us to speak one at a time. Nick, you can respond.
Yeah, I mean, look, the data is a whole different thing. Elon Musk is going in with young kids who know nothing about the system. Genius. They're not using the people that are actually been there for years upon years, know how the system works. If you go in there and you start copying things, you can basically destroy what's there.
The morale is, of course, abysmal right now. We are being told we're not worth the money that is spent on us. This is just another step in the demonization and harassment of employees who have only worked to serve the American people. The other thing is, who's going to read 2.4 million questionnaires? They are hounding good people and good workers out of the civil service. This will be taken as another anecdotal piece of evidence saying that we're not the good workers we know we are.
Now this right here, this is some real life Game of Thrones Trailer Park Edition nonsense. Trump's new Secretary of Defense and FBI Director have basically told the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to eat a bag of dicks. Given how pronounced Elon's jawline is, I'm sure he can fit them all in at one time with no gag reflexes. The boy looks like he's been practicing, but I digress. They're refusing to play along with Musk's latest attempt at turning the government into his own personal startup. By a show of hands, who else is shocked? Trump's whole hiring philosophy has been loyalty over competence, and nothing says loyalty like a $277 million check and other assistance to steal, to win a presidential election. If you were willing to kiss Donald Trump's sweaty cock ring and ignore the law, you have a job in the Trump administration. So the fact that these Trump-appointed officials are straight up defying him, and by him I mean Elon Musk, is giving backstabbing in the House of Lannister energy, or is it? So now the question is, does Trump even know what's happening? Is he finally setting some boundaries for Musk, or is this just another fake performance for the cameras while he wears out the shocks on yet another golf cart? Place your bets, people, because we got 4 years of this nonsense ahead of us, and it's only been just over a month. You gotta be kidding me. It's only been just a month? Anyway, y'all, Musk is out here trying to be the official overlord of the federal government, and for once, the people who helped put Trump in office are pushing back. So what's the deal? Musk and his little Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, because of course it's a meme, sent out an email demanding that every federal employee justify their exist or risk termination of employment. Basically, tell me why I shouldn't fire you. The FBI told employees to ignore DOGE requests just like they ignored investigating Trump during the Biden administration. The Pentagon said hell no, kick rocks. The Department of Energy, Homeland Security, and the State Department all said nah, we're good. Even some Republicans are raising their eyebrows at Musk's latest antics. But of course, Musk is out here on Twitter, X, having a full-scale meltdown, calling it extremely troubling that government employees aren't begging to keep their jobs like it's an episode of The Apprentice. And don't expect any hearings in the Republican majority Congress and Senate, not just because Donald Trump amputated their balls during his first term, but now Elon Musk has already threatened primary challengers to those members. Trump needs this as leverage while he is priming the people with fanciful delusions of being crowned king. Crack is a hell of a drug. But here is the part that's really the chef's kiss delicious. Trump is still defending Musk. Trump is out here posting SpongeBob memes about federal employees crying about Musk. Now let me get this straight. You mean to tell me the same people who stormed the Capitol over imaginary voter fraud are perfectly fine with the billionaire firing thousands of federal workers with the meme? And worse, a lot of those former federal employees are begging for their jobs back on X or making TikToks, tearing out their hair with a dirge of lament, relenting their regrets for voting for Trump. Oh, what's that sound? Yeah, that's the leopard. The leopards are setting tables at the all-you-can-eat face buffet. As if this GOP clown show wasn't messing it up. Now we got Steve Bannon versus Elon Musk, the battle of the two conspiracy theorists fighting over who can be the biggest grifter in America. Bannon is out here calling Musk a globalist sellout, while Musk is firing back calling Bannon a washed-up has-been. Let's not forget, Bannon is the OG architect of Trumpism. The man practically created chapters in the alt-right playbook. And let's define alt-right really quick. It's the gateway for the creepy, crawly, white supremacist trailer park mayonnaise trash possums to come out of the sewers as alternatives to polished traditional white nationalists who don't lean into their racism. But back to this meth head possum, Steve Bannon. Now he's watching Musk swoop in, take the spotlight, and steer the chaos in a new direction. And Bannon, he is big mad about it, or it could be a coked out manic meth crackhead rage. You never know with Bannon. Anywho, this whole thing is hilarious because it's basically a battle of fragile egos. Two men with no real skill sets other than conning white people out of their money, who thought they could control Trump, are now out here fighting for his attention, like two disease-infested cucks fighting over who gets to fuck America first while Donald Trump beats off in the corner somewhere and just watch it. All I see is all of that MGTOW manosphere alpha male talk being played out in real life, and it's very much giving Penitentiary vibe, the movie. If you know, you know. Moving right along. And while Musk is busy playing Emperor of America, his actual businesses are collapsing around him. Tesla stock is tanking, EV competition competition is eating Tesla alive. There's yet another recall, this time because the cars don't steer. Minor detail, right? Who needs steering? Musk's biggest mistake, he believed his own hype. He thought he was untouchable, thought he was the boy genius. Now the market is proving otherwise. Turns out, when you focus on the right-wing Twitter nonsense instead of building quality products, people stop buying what you're selling. Musk really thought he could do anything. He really thought he can do everything. Run Tesla, SpaceX, Twitter, and now the federal government. Elon, let me say this part slowly for you, because we know you're special. You can barely keep one of these afloat. And as Elon's network decreases, so does his threat of primary challenges. And there goes Donald Trump's leverage over Congress. Now, over in Florida, we got a full-blown soap opera unfolding. Ron DeSantis, aka Trump's ex-bestie turned mortal enemy, has officially entered the chat, and he's backing his own wife, Casey DeSantis, for governor, whose resume is as thin as the kitten heels and lifts DeSantis uses to remain eye level with the coffee table. Yes, you heard that right. DeSantis is literally trying to turn Florida into a family dynasty. Meanwhile, Trump is backing Byron Donalds because nothing screams loyal Trump puppet like a black Republican who shells for MAGA every chance he gets. Where's the outrage from the nepotism police? Oh wait, nepotism only seems to be a problem when certain people benefit from it. By certain people, I mean black people. Florida, y'all got some decisions to make. Do you want DeSantis 2.0 or do you want a Trump bootlicker? Either way, the Republican Party will lose if the Democrats nominate a straight heteronormative white male whose name is not Charlie Crist. Sidebar, Charlie Crist has also run for governor of Florida multiple times. He was elected as a governor in 2006 as a Republican. Subsequently, he ran unsuccessfully in 2014 as a Democrat and again in 2022. So Florida Democrats, get it the fuck together, moving right along. Listen, this Republican infighting is only going to get worse. Musk is feuding with the government he thought he controlled. Bannon is fighting Musk for the title of biggest right-wing con artist. Trump's own appointees are defying him. The GOP is split between Trump loyalists and people just looking to survive the next 4 years. And you know what? Mark me present, because I'm here for all of it. Because while they're out here tearing each other apart, we're just going to sit back, sip our wine, eat this gourmet popcorn, and watch the GOP battle of the bastards play out in real time. Pass the popcorn, fam. And where's my wine? Well, it looks like our time is up. I thank you for making the time to go through it to the end with me. Like, share, and subscribe, please, and thank you.